Hanyo. Both the United States and Russia have long-range strategic bombers. Why hasn't China? I didn't blow hard with China's current aviation level. It's really not hard to build the same long-range bomber as the US and Russia. It's very easy to access. Then why not build it? Have you ever considered a fundamental question? What era are these bombers from the United States and Russia? Picture 95. The male served in 1956 and dragged 22 people alive. Served in 1972. Apostle 160 White Swan. Served in 1987. B-52 Tongan Fort served. In 1955, B-1 Lancers, in service in 1986. The B-2 Phantom was in service in 1997. And the oldest Tu-95 and B-52 have been in service for almost 70 years. Weapons and equipment design. Thinking today has changed dramatically. From 70 years ago, if you use today's technology to build a bomber from 70 years ago, even if it is made, what use is it? Then it's better to bomb 6K. Even the youngest B-2U-0 bomber, I've been wearing one for 30 years, because the quantity is not large and there are no upgrade conditions. So it's basically retirement age. In other words, all the American and Russian bombers we see now are antiques. They are all weapons platforms that are behind the times. And the new bomber we're going to build must not be such an antique. It's a bomber that better meets the needs of modern warfare. It can even be said that he is the 055 area in the sky. Our spiritual creatures are very short and strong. You know that. Why is it strong? It is because it has formed a strong anti-submarine system on land, sea, and air. It's just that the system is presented in the form of a destroyer. And this system, since it can be a destroyer in its form, then it could also be a bomber. Therefore, our future bomber must be a weapon platform with the same characteristics as the 055 region. His appearance will definitely enhance the combat effectiveness of the Air Force, just like the improvement brought by the 055 region to the naval combat effectiveness. Gold 20 is actually the same as 052D. It's all something that happens step by step. The new bomber of the future is just as much a product, beyond recognition as the 055. Why can't China build a long-range strategic bomber? We seem to have everything now. The only thing missing is a bomber that can carry out long-range bombing missions. Although the H-6K has been modified several times, it can already be regarded as a strategic bomber. However, it does not have an intercontinental bombing capability. The range did not exceed 8,000 kilometers. In contrast, the maximum range of US and Russian bombers basically exceeded 10,000 kilometers. In particular, the range of the American B-52 bomber and the Russian Tu-95 bomber reached 16,000 kilometers, farther than States and missiles. The H-6 was developed from the Tu-6 bomber licensed by the former Soviet Union. It entered service in 1954. A total of more than 1,500 were produced, but it was all returned 2,000 years ago. Our H-6 entered service in 1969. The original H-6A was indeed a localized model of Tu-16, but after half a century of development, the current Boom 6 can accept for aliens. The rest has nothing to do with Tu-16 for a long time. So when asked by a 92-year-old Russian veteran, "You don't use pomegranates anymore, do you?" we can indeed say that it is no longer needed. It has been 10 years since the official debut of the H-6K. The development of the Chinese Air Force in the past 10 years is obvious to all. Up to 20, about 20 rooms, 16 spaces, 500. These advanced pieces of equipment were all in service and heavily equipped during this decade. Although after a few Boom 6K, two models of Boom 6N and Boom 6G were derived, but the overall technology has not changed much from the H-6K. Among them, the biggest feature of H-6N is the installation of an air-mobile game hall. The H-6G is actually the naval version of the H-6K that can be refueled in the air. In other words, the progress of these company bombers is actually not that great. We don't even have a new long-range bomber. What is the reason? It's very simple. Because at this stage, there is no need to bomb 6K. This bomber is definitely grossly underestimated. I can say he is better than American and Russian bombers. Where is the strength? Is it strong in data? Certainly not a single round of data, whether it's the voyage or the play. Each of the 6 bombers is a big hit above the H-6K. This is still at 57 loads and 22 tons. If 57 loads and reduced to 9 tons, then his range can reach an exaggerated 16,000 kilometers. It's twice as high as our 6. Data is the measure of how advanced a weapons platform is, but it's not the only criterion. Except for data, you also have to look at its practicality and its compatibility with the system. If it is more, I dare say that the H-6K is definitely at the top of the list. Of these 7 bombers, the attendance rate of the H-6K is very high, although he is a strategic bomber. But that doesn't mean he can't perform routine tasks, especially when he 2 billion with the Eagle board, instantly became an aircraft carrier nemesis. And not only that, he also and the shipboard version of the Eagle Strike 21, the Dongfeng 21D on land together form a 3-in-1 mortal strike system of sea, land and air. Any incoming aircraft carrier will be rejected thousands of miles away, and this mode of operation is not available in other bombers. Last time, he also won the title of Model of the Times for his outstanding performance in the execution of the task. This in itself is a recognition of its strength. The more you learn, the more you realize bombers are not actually our weakness, but may become our strength in the future. Why is that? It's because the H-6 has been used for too long. The longer the H-6 is used, the stronger the new bomber being developed. If it is a similar bombing by the United States and Russia that is being developed, then he should have made his maiden flight long ago. Precisely because he didn't make his maiden flight instead. It makes me think that there must be a breakthrough in some brand new technology. So I didn't fly for the first time. Do you know why only China and the United States can build large aircraft carriers of 80,000 tons and above? Because this power generation is so difficult. You don't have an advanced generator set. There's no way to get him to run. For aircraft carriers can't even run. Then how can we recover the carrier aircraft after releasing it? Today we will talk about how powerful the power generation capacity of the 003-volt aircraft carrier is. Let's see what level he is at among all aircraft carriers. Let's talk about Ford in America first. It has 4 26 trillion watt generators. Power generation capacity can reach 106 trillion watts. The capacity that can be used directly is 78 trillion watts, several fully electric propulsion to meet the 100,000-ton volt level. It also supplies 4 electromagnetic catapults and all the radar's huge power consumption, a small nuclear power plant. And if that metaphor wasn't enough, we can also compare the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. There are 4 8,000-kilowatt steam turbine generators on the Nimitz class. There are also 4 2,000-kilowatt diesel generators. Its usable capacity is 24 trillion watts, so the Ford has 3 times the power of the Nimitz. Yes, let's see how big the gap is in Russia in this regard. He's really big. The Russian aircraft carrier Kuznetsov. It has 9 1,500-kilowatt steam turbines on it. There are also 6 1,500-kilowatt diesel generators, and Nimitz and the launch of 8,000-kilowatt generators. Therefore, Russia's power generation capacity is poor. He installed 9 light steam turbines. This greatly compresses the area of his hangar. An aircraft carrier with a displacement of more than 60,000 tons can only carry more than 20 fighter jets. That's why. Let's talk about the power generation capacity on the 003-volt ship. We were actually in 2018. It has successfully developed a large steam turbine generator set for a 20-channel tile machine for ships. This is why we can build aircraft carriers with a displacement of more than 80,000 tons. According to estimates, S3 should be equipped with 4 sets of this 20 trillion watt generator set. If you add 7 or 8 sets of spare 3 trillion watt diesel generators, that is to say, the power generation capacity built in Fujian is likely to reach Ford class, 106 trillion watts. This allows our 003 Fujian to build a 80,000-ton behemoth that can use an all-electric propulsion system. He can relax with any electromagnetic catapult and dual-band high-power lightning guide, so his general capabilities are really no worse than Ford's. That's a huge lift. Guys, this is one thing that Iran is really going a little too far. It is estimated that the United States will be angry and vomit blood. Iran actually put its latest Fatah. The internal structure of the Type 2 hypersonic missile was publicly displayed. No, I have a hypersonic missile. I have a showdown. Through this presentation, Iran is now the fourth country in the world to develop its own hypersonic missile, and his technology has been at the forefront of the United States. We know. As early as June this year, Iran showcased its Fatah-1 hypersonic missile. This missile has a range of 1,500 kilometers. The attack speed of the terminal is Mach, and the westernmost point of Wang is 100 kilometers from Iran. That is to say, this hypersonic missile can cover the panorama of Shaobawang. This is what they are most worried about. But after half a year, Iran has now revealed a brand new Batak 2 island. This missile is the first time Iran has adopted it. In appearance, he is a bit similar to our Dongfeng period, a missile in this glide configuration. He can create a layer of accumulated waves underneath. It's like driving through the clouds. So his range and his mobility are very strong. For example, the range of this Fatah integration is 1,500 kilometers, right? Then the latest Fatah has probably reached a strike range of 2,500 kilometers. Jiansan, surnamed Wang, claims to have intercepted a missile with a length of 2,000 kilometers in this outer space. But the trajectory of this ballistic missile is fixed. As long as you are locked by this lightning strike, it's still not that difficult to intercept. However, it is almost impossible to intercept Fatah and Erxing, hypersonic missiles that can maneuver at high speed. And Iran actually put its internal structure on display this time, which means that their newer hypersonic missile that can fly Mach 15. I guess my aunt has already served in the military. So, now America and this bully are actually very afraid of this Iranian missile. So, a lot of people probably have this question in their head. It's you, Iran, right? Why is your missile technology better than the United States? First of all, they've been technically choked by the United States for a long time. They have been perfecting their military-industrial system. At present, there are more than 12,000 scientific research units and arsenal involved in this military research and development in Iran. So, after 10 years of continuous development, Iran is now even more developed in military industry than Turkey. That is the nation of Iran. He is a very innovative country. They simply use this natural form of electromagnetic interference. Captured America's most advanced Global Hawk reconnaissance drone. Let him land obediently on his runway. We know that Russia and the United States have been fighting for so many years, but he has also failed to interfere with American drones. This alone shows that Iran's innovation capabilities are really quite strong. Iran is likely to receive assistance from Russia with this own drone technology in exchange for this Russian hypersonic missile technology. After all, the first country in the world to have a hypersonic missile in service, it should be this Russia. Like their daggers in the air, Zircon at sea, land-based flight. This Mach 24 Pioneer is now openly in service. This has been built into a trinity of sea, land and air hypersonic hit-me. So, it is not surprising that Iran used Russian technology to develop its own Fatel hypersonic missile. Is that so? He can both deter the cylindrical overlord. It can also strike aircraft carrier battle groups at sea. With Iran and Russia cooperating, this missile technology can be considered a mutual win-win situation. Never mind what you say, Iran's current missile technology is in the Middle East. That's absolutely second to none. Even the bully can't keep up with him. The technology is that no one dares to mess with it.